We heard the moans when you guys found out that you guys are playing against Paul VI. Initial reactions to that?
Well, I mean, I said on the way over here, I was like, we're going to play Paul VI, just, if I was going to bet. But, those moans weren't us. Those moans were, I don't know who they were, but I heard them loud. But, no, why not play the best team? So you're in the TOC, why not? Yeah, we may never get a chance to play them if we don't play in first round. So, no, I mean, it's just one of those things. You take it with a grain of salt and accept what you got and try to get your kids ready for it and do the best they can.
Should we be expecting Branham up against Jordan Smith, who's #2 in the nation?
Well, I don't know yet. I got to watch some film first, so I can't answer that right now. But hopefully we don't have to do that. But we'll see. Too soon to tell.
Obviously, you have a pretty well-rounded and deep team, but how unique is that to be able to have a guy like Chase, a local guy, be able to showcase how good he is on this stage at home?
He's super excited. He kind of lives for these moments, so I'm kind of excited to see him to get to play in this in this opportunity, if you will. You're going to get really good effort out of our guys. They're going to compete, and Chase is, what we run through everything through. It's not a secret, and we go with him a lot. So till he's not doing well, then we'll continue to do well.
You guys have quite a bit of size. How is that going to help you when it comes to playing these teams?
No, that's huge. One year we were in the TOC when I was at Hillcrest. It was the last year that I was in this, coached in it, and we had graduated Doriel Green Beckham, and we were all guards, so we're small. I remember playing a post player with a 5'10" guard, so that wasn't much fun, but at the same time, it's just everybody's on the norm is, a 6'10", 6'9". It's just the average, kind of like we seem like we're big because we go 6'5" to 6'7". Well, that's big for here. We won't look so big come next week. So, but no, it is our physicality. Our kids play hard and they're physical. So hopefully we'll get that'll be a hoping thing for us, but other than that, you can't just outcoach talent sometimes. So we'll just see.
Coach, obviously, as you mentioned, the talent, right, is kind of far above what is here. However, how did these kind of moments, these kind of games for your players, how does this help you down the road when you talk about district tournament, getting to a state championship?
Well, I've said this too, you can't, it's all about experience. So the experience that your kids get out of this tournament when they move on, they really the games seem easier than what they once were. As coaches and adults and parents and peers, you can say all you want to 15 through 18-year-olds, but they don't hear you. It's hard for them to hear, but when they experience it, they kind of take it upon themselves, and it's a teaching tool that you don't have in your back pocket. So all the teams that I've had in the TOC have always done pretty well later on through the year, so I look for that to be the same. So, you look for this, like I said, it's an honor and a privilege to play in this, but at the same time, it's going to make us better however this tournament goes.
And for your players, for them, for Chase and the Moore twins, are they the kind of guys that lead, or are you kind of still setting the example for them? How does that dynamic work?
It's probably leadership by the whole crew. The top 4 or 5 guys all kind of go back at each other on certain things because they're pretty confident on what they're supposed to do. But really, at the end of the time, it comes back. They're all looking at me at the bench. So that's just kind of how we coach and what we do. But no, I told them one time too. I said, when you'll stop looking at me on the sideline and I don't have to say much, then you figured it out. So that's kind of with the maturity thing that we've been trying to get to over the years with this group, and they're getting closer every game.
How big of a deal is this, not just for your players, but for the people of Rogersville? This is the first time the Wildcats are in this tournament since 2000.
Like I said, it's an honor and a privilege for us and our community. It's just it's a good look for the school. It's a good look for the programs. We're just excited to be in it, and our student body and our town will follow well, I think, and so it's as well as the community in Springfield, not being that far removed from Springfield area. So I just think everybody's excited, and to see everybody talks about how good we are, but you're about to see how good we are for real.
What has that anticipation been like? You've known for about a year now or so that you guys are playing in this tournament, and now it's a week away.
What was it though? What were you just saying?
What has the anticipation been like this past week?
You know, you're coaching-wise, you're so worried about the next game. Really, this won't sink in until we go play Saturday, and all I'm thinking about right now is how to beat Chaminade. So, you know, then we come back, and then we got Ozark on Tuesday. So we've got a full week before the TOC, basically, or I mean, including it. So really, my anxiety won't hit really hard until probably Tuesday night after the Ozark game, and then we'll start worrying about Paul VI.
Coach, with both you and Kickapoo being the local teams, but being also kind of the underdogs of this tournament, is that maybe a benefit for you to say, hey guys, we're playing with house money. You got nothing to lose. Go out there and swing it.
I've said a lot. I like being the underdog. It's a lot more fun and easy sometimes, but you know, and we're not the underdog by any means in our area this year. So this is a good opportunity to be it and embrace that a little bit. And I think our guys will, and they'll want to prove themselves as well. So you know, the one thing that you can only control, or you try to control with your guys, is just their effort, and the rest will come into play. Just you don't pout. Just go play hard, compete, enjoy what you can take from the experience. And just have fun with it, because it's going to be memories these guys have the rest of their lives.
Coach, lastly, I asked Coach McHenry this as well. Outside Chase, right? A lot of high school athletes, especially basketball, right? They're not getting recruited like they used to be because of the way the landscape has changed in college athletics. What's your advice to these high school kids? What are you seeing from trying to reach out to other coaches and say, hey, would you be interested in a high school kid, not a transfer kid?
Well, for one, I mean, exposure is exposure. And the one thing I always tell our guys, a lot of our guys play AU, and a lot of the teams I've coached over the years play AU, and that's great. You know, you keep making yourself better, and the exposure you get, you never know who you're going to play in front of in some of those big-time tournaments. But at the same time, what I try to tell our guys, really it's all about your work ethic and what you're doing outside of that. In AAU, you're playing a lot of games, and there's nothing wrong with that, and it's good for your skill and your experience. But really, it's the behind the scenes that's going to make you the player to be a D1 player. It's not always about exposure. Really, if you're good enough, and they're going to find you, and you will be known as good enough. And that comes, I think that's a perfect example for Chase, is probably just, Chase doesn't pass the eye test sometimes. You know, if you look at him, he doesn't look as special as what people think he is. So, but that's all goes for his hard work and the things he does behind the scenes.